Today we're going to be going over inequalities. So again, you will need scissors and you will need glue to follow along with this. Alright, today is the 24th. I know we said we were going to do it yesterday, but I'm changing that. It's the 24th. We're working on inequalities. So open up to your next page. Alright, and then what you need to do after you title it and everything like that is, if you printed it out and you're following along with me, great. I'm going to show you how to do this. So there's this little foldable here. Alright, I already cut one of them out. Alright, and what you need to do is cut off all this extra white space that's on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut off all that extra white space that's on the outside. Once you've done that, you'll get this. Alright, now here what I need to do is I need to cut along these black lines right here. Alright, now we're not going to cut all the way through. I'm going to stop right there. That's all I'm going to cut. And that way it'll be able to be folded once we glue it down. Alright, so you need to go ahead and cut on every single black line, just like I did there. So once they've done that, then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put glue just on this top bar right here. So just right there. That's it. I'm not going to put it anywhere else. Alright, so I'm going to put glue right there. Then I'm going to glue it into my notebook, like so. So we put glue on, have it glued in my notebook. Now the other thing is there's these word problems. I wanted y'all to print those out as well. Okay, cut those out. So we're going to cut off all the excess on the top, cut off all the excess on the bottom, and then cut off all the excess on the sides as well. You're just trying to make sure that it'll fit into your notebook. Okay. So now I should be able to fit it underneath like so. Okay, I should be able to fit it underneath like so. So I'll flip it over, put some glue on it, and glue it in. Alright, so now I have my notebook ready. So I glue this down and everything. Now these can fold up. So the reason we did this is so that way I'm going to put words underneath every sign for words that'll indicate when you need to use that sign in a word problem, right? So this is an equal sign. So whenever we see the equal sign, okay, we use the equal sign whenever we see the word equals, okay, or equivalent, or the same, or congruent. And again, if I'm going too fast, I will post these on YouTube as well, and post it on Google Classroom, and that way y'all can access it. And the last one is. So if I see equals, equivalent, the same, congruent, or is, then we're going to go ahead and know I'm going to use an equal sign there. Alright, now this symbol here, this is the less than symbol. Okay, this is a less than symbol. So words that indicate when we need to use the less than symbol. It's pretty simple. If I see less than, or if I see fewer than, I know I need to use the less than symbol. Okay, this symbol is a less than or equal to, right? So some indicator words for that symbol are going to be less than or equal to. Less than or equal to. Another one is at most. Another one is no more than. And the last one is a maximum of. A maximum of. So less than or equal to, at most, no more than, or a maximum of. All those words are indicators that I need to use a less than or equal to sign. Alright? So now over here, we have greater than. This is just greater than. Okay? So words to tell me the indicator I need to use greater than are, well, greater than. You can also use more than. For the greater than or equal to sign. Okay, some indicators for when we need to use that are, of course, greater than or equal to. And again, I'm writing a little small, so I'll zoom in. So hopefully y'all can see those three. Okay, and now I'm over here. So we have greater than or equal to. We'd also, if we see at least, or no less than, or a minimum of. Alright, this last symbol over here, some of y'all might not know what it is. This means not equal. Not equal. Alright? So we know to use that when we see indicators such as not equal to. Not equivalent. Guess what the next one is? Not the same. And the last one is not congruent. I'm not going to say not is. Not is not real grammar. Alright, so I'll give you all a minute to copy that down. So again, you have to see the indicator. Is has to say is greater than, is less than. Alright, we have to see the indicator word to know what to do. That's going to be my inequality symbol that goes in the middle. Okay, we have 4 less than 3 times a number. We don't know what the number is. That's my variable. We're multiplying it by 3, so we would say 3 times x. Now, it's not 4 minus 3x, because if I have 4 less than 12, I would have 8. So it's actually 12 minus 4 would give me 8. So in this case, we would say 3x minus 4 is what I'm looking for. Over here, works out from left to right. Awesome. I have 2 times the number, x, so 2x, minus 1. That's it. So let's do the next one. So I have the sum, alright, sum meaning to add, right? So we know we're going to be adding the sum of twice a number. Okay, we don't know what the number is. So if we don't know what the number is, then we can immediately assume that that's going to be my variable. The sum of twice the number and 5 is greater than 3 times the number minus 3. So again, there's my indicator word, is greater than. Now I know that is my operation. So I'm going to put my greater than symbol right there. On the left side, I had the sum. Alright, well now I'm going to be adding something of twice a number and 5. So if I have twice a number, right, I'm multiplying it, so it would be 2 times x, or 2x. And then 5 is just 5. So 2x plus 5 is greater than 3 times the number, we don't know what the number is, minus, there's my operation, 3. Well, 3 is just 3. So I have 3 times the number x, so we can write that as 3x minus 3. Okay, so hopefully this is starting to make sense. Alright, number 3. Plant A is 5 centimeters tall and growing at the rate of 3 centimeters a month. Plant B is 4 centimeters tall and growing at the rate of 5 centimeters a month. When will plant B exceed the height of plant A? If plant B is going to exceed meaning to surpass or larger than, right? We can say plant B needs to be larger than or greater than plant A. So we're trying to figure out when B is greater than A. So let's look at plant B first. So looking at plant B, so that's plant B right there. It is 4 centimeters tall and it grows at the rate of 5 centimeters a month. So remember, we had talked about this yesterday. When I see a month, a year, a day, things like that, that means it's a repeating value, which makes it my variable. So if I see 5 centimeters a month, I know I'm growing every month that goes by. I'm getting larger and larger and larger by 5 centimeters. So that's going to be my variable. Now I'm going to use m for my variable to represent month. Right? And then
teachers, at this time, please stop what you are doing and submit your official daily attendance.
And then I have 4 centimeters tall. Okay, so if it's 4 centimeters tall, that is my starting height. So it starts at 4 centimeters. So that is going to be my constant. Okay, so I have 4 plus, right, because it's growing. If it's growing, I'm gaining, right, I'm getting larger. So we're going to add 5 centimeters a month. So 5 times every month that passes. And then that has to be greater than plant A. And plant A is 5 centimeters tall, so I'm starting at 5 centimeters, making that my constant. And it's growing, meaning I'm going to add at the rate of 3 centimeters a month. 3 centimeters a month, month being my variable. So we would write that as 5 plus 3 times m. Now here's the cool thing about inequalities as well, is we could write it as b is greater than a, but we could also write it as a is less than b. There's nothing wrong. They both mean the same thing, right? We will get the correct answer either way as long as we do everything correctly. Alright, but this time the sign is just switched. So b must be greater than a is the same thing as saying a must be less than b. Alright, so let's work on that one. Well, then all I would do is I would just write a, so I have 5 plus 3m must be less than 4 plus 5m. And that's it. Alright guys, that's all we're going to do for today. Alright, so next problem. Okay, we have Vera open a savings account with $300 and deposits $65 each week. Mark opened a savings account with $650 and deposits $30 each month. At what point will Vera's account have at least as much money as Mark's account? Okay, so we need to be careful here. Alright, so when we see the words at least, that tells me, alright, we can look at my indicator words up top. I know when I see at least, okay, I need to use my greater than or equal to symbol. Alright, now I'm trying to figure out when Vera will have at least as much money as Mark. So I need to figure out when Vera will be greater than or equal to Mark. Now, looking at Vera's account, she opened a savings account with $300, meaning I'm starting at $300. And we're depositing, deposit meaning to add money to a bank account, $65 each week. She's putting $65 in there every single week. Mark opened a savings account with $650, so his starting amount is $650, and he's depositing, meaning to add money, $30 each month. So Vera is depositing each week, Mark is depositing each month. So we have to be careful about that. Alright? Now we can either turn a month into a week, or we can turn weeks into a month. So in this case I'm going to turn weeks into a month. So it's a lot, to me it's a little easier. So we have 4 weeks in a month, generally around 4 weeks in a month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 65, we're going to multiply it by 4. 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2, so 260. So that means that every single week, or every single month, right, she is depositing $260 every month. So I could write that as 260 times M, and then my starting amount was 300. Now Mark, on the other hand, he starts with 650, and he's depositing, meaning he's adding $30 each month. So we'd say plus 30 times M, because month is my variable. Excuse me, he's depositing 30 every month. Alright, so moving on to number 5. So number 5, an oil company keeps track of work vehicle values. A Toyota Camry purchased for $26,000 depreciates $3,000 each year. A Chevy Cruze purchased for $30,000 depreciates $4,500 per year. When will the Camry be more valuable than the Cruze? So again, we see more valuable. Alright, so we're trying to figure out when the Camry will be more than the Cruze. So the Camry will be more than meaning I need to use the greater than symbol than the Cruze. Okay, so the Camry was purchased for $26,000. That is my starting amount. Okay, so on the Camry side, we're going to start with $26,000. And if it's depreciating, okay, if something depreciates, that means that it's losing value. So in this case, since it's losing value, we're going to subtract. And we're losing $3,000 each year. So every year that goes by Y, we're going to use Y for year, we're losing 3,000. So I'd write that as 3,000 times Y. And then the Camry has to be greater than the Cruze. Well, the Cruze was purchased for $30,000, so my starting value is 30,000, and it depreciates 4,500 per year. So that's my variable, with year being my variable. So if it's depreciating, remember it loses value, so I would subtract 4,500 times Y every year that goes by. You could also use X if you don't want to use Y, you don't want to use M or anything like that. You can just use X. That's totally fine. Okay, let's do this last one. AT&T sells iPhone 8s for $800 plus a $55 monthly service fee. Verizon sells iPhone 8s for $1,000 with a $30 monthly service fee. When would AT&T cost more than Verizon? So we need to figure out when AT&T, right, AT&T is more than Verizon. So AT&T, starting their phone start at $800, and then they have a $55 monthly service fee. That means that every single month that goes by, I have to add 55 to it. So I start at 800, and I'm adding $55 for every X month that goes by. And then AT&T, sorry, I used the wrong symbol there. It's not supposed to be less than. It's supposed to be greater than. Had a brain fart. Verizon sells iPhone 8s for $1,000, so my starting amount would be $1,000 with a $30 monthly service fee. It means that every month that goes by, I have to add $30. So it'll be 30 times X. Alright, and that's how we set up the equation. Again, the great thing about inequalities, I do not need to solve them yet at this level. We might go over that later, but for now, I'm not worried about that. I just want to make sure that you can write an equation from the problem. That's it for today. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow.